And do we have sound on LeBron, Rob G? Oh, no sound. Okay. So we talked about this earlier about the 40,000 points. You know, I'm not here. I'm not trying to bash him for getting that. You know, I'm not. But I think everything, there has to be context. And a lot of it has to do with it's a longevity thing. Don't you? We're not being mean spirited. It's a longevity thing.
Mm-hmm.
Played a long time.
Yeah. He's played an incredibly long time. And
I don't think it changes anything. To me, all it does for the people who believe that he's the GOAT or he's that guy. It's one thing they can say, well, he's got 40,000 points. Oh, you know, he won the in-season tournament. Oh, his son's going to be drafted in the NBA draft, you know, or whatever it is, to try to cover up the 6 finals losses and that he only has 4 and he had to put together a dream team in order to win the 3 he won. I'm just saying, or the other 2, I should say.
Right.
But you get my point. If you're a LeBron person or fan or whatever you want to minion, you love it because it's something else you could use to push back on Michael Jordan.
Yeah. No, I hear you. I think whatever side you are on, you're dug in. 40,000 is not going to – I'll put it this way.
Right, they're like, Michael Jordan played 13 years. What do we – he played 20.
Yeah, right.
Really?
If you're Team Jordan – you're not all of a sudden going to say, you know, I got to reevaluate now that LeBron has reached 40,000 points. It's not going to go down like that. It's impressive, Rob. Listen, longevity means a lot. For him to be around this long is incredibly impressive. He's still playing at a very high level.
But here's
the guy's
my scary,
almost 40 years old.
Here's the scary part, though. If he plays 3 more years, right, and doesn't win again, is winning 4 championships in 23 years. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, it does.
Yeah.
That doesn't feel special. Do you think that's special?
Well, the problem is he's compared to MJ the whole time. So when you're comparing him to Jordan, who was, you know, he was perfect in the finals, never lost. When he's chasing, as he said, that ghost in Chicago, when that's the comparison, like, no, it doesn't feel like it's more special. And that's the real conversation. Sure, that's special to do what he's done. He's had an incredibly special career.
No doubt. No one would. And people always say, oh, you hate LeBron or what. I think he's the second best player of all time. How do I hate a guy? I'm not like Paul Pierce or some of these former players who have him 10th or 11th or not in their top 10. Like that's where there's some sort of bias, right? If you could honestly look at his career, the all-time leading scorer or whatever, and say he's not in your top 10, come on, man. That you lose credibility, even if you play in the league.
I get it, and I'm with you. The thing I dislike, Rob, is we've gotten to a place now where anything that sounds slightly critical, it's taken as you're just outright hating, you're just bashing this guy.
I get it all the time, as I just said. And if I did have a rub against LeBron or something, would I rate him second behind Michael Jordan? I don't think that's an insult.
No. But it just feels like you're disarming a bomb if you're talking about longevity in a slightly critical way, where I think of it the same way. He's a scoring compiler, and that sounds incredibly negative. I don't mean it that way at all, but I just simply look at Jordan won 10 scoring titles
in a row.
LeBron won 1. You know, so he scored. He's going to get to 40,000 points. Nobody has done that. It's a longevity thing, and hats off to him for being in the league and playing at that high of a level for so long. That means a ton. I think compiler is the new, like, system quarterback. You know what I mean? Like, it's always taken as a negative, and it's not always meant that way. I don't mean it as negative as it sounds, that he's a scoring compiler, but that's what he is. He's not a guy that won 10 scoring titles like MJ. He won 1. So it's impressive that he scored so much over that period of time, but he hasn't been one of these elite scorers. And I think a lot of people just look at, hey, 40,000 points. He's the only guy to do it. He's an elite scorer. No, he's not.
Right. I think you're 100 spot on, and it's not to rain on his parade. It's just I just think you have to have context to everything, and there are awards that people win just based on longevity, right? For playing a long time. Don't you look? That's why there's a thing called scoring average, right? That's the great equalizer.
It is. You speaking your baseball language, Rob. A lot of people threw this out with Craig Biggio. Remember the Astros, and he's a compiler, and it's always talked about as a negative, and it shouldn't be like that. If you can compile numbers like LeBron has done for as long as he's been in the NBA, you take that every time. If you're an NBA franchise, that's nothing to just like shrug your shoulders at. But I don't know how we can turn compiling into a positive. I think the damage has been done, and it's always taken as a negative. I don't mean it as a negative at all. Not
at all. It is what it is. But I think I just think you got to be careful. It's not, and this is the other thing they always say. Well, if it's about Michael Jordan and the rings, then Bill Russell's the GOAT, or right. No, it's not just the ring count. You just said it. He won 10 straight scoring titles, right? I mean, come on, man. There's a lot of other stuff. He was defensive player. He won defensive player awards. He did way more than that. And he didn't win until Scottie Pippen showed up. And I say this all the time. If Scottie Pippen was that guy, how did he not win one Finals MVP? It doesn't automatically go to Michael Jordan, right?
Right. Well, and you also said something, Rob, where you got to be careful. I think there's a lot of talk, and it's just gaining traction now, where we're throwing out, hey, is LeBron on that juice over there? Like, come on, man. You got to have some proof instead of just willy-nilly throwing it around that.
That's why I wouldn't even entertain it, because I'm not in that camp. I think that's hurtful, and if you don't have if somebody has something to show, you know what I mean, and some facts, that's one thing. But I just will never ever get involved in just throwing out stuff.
I know it. It reminds me of remember when this happened in football with Adrian Peterson, where there were some whispers of like, hey, man, is he on PEDs? And he had a great response where he was like, I take that as a compliment. I'm playing at such a high level, you think that I'm on roids or whatever.
Right, in order to get there.
He just laughed it off. That was the best way to handle it. But I think the same is true with LeBron. I think it's a compliment. People have not seen someone play at this level at that age, and they immediately run to, is he on PEDs? I really do. I think it's a hidden compliment where it just shows you that LeBron is doing something that really is unprecedented to play at this level at that age. And no one has done that.
And he's put in the work, right? He works extremely hard to keep in shape and body. And they've always said he pays him, $1 million a year in order to train and whatnot. So, and it shows. And he's in unbelievable shape. He's not defending anybody, but he still can play, man. There's no doubt about it.
I'll tell you what, Rob, I shouldn't even say this, but I will. Can you imagine the Team Jordan people, what their reaction would be if there was ever any truth to the PED stuff? You know what I mean?
Oh, God.
Can you imagine the conversations that would be had if that were the case?
It would be crazy. We're just talking about LeBron James getting a 40,000 and what it would mean. Would it elevate him in your mind? Would it make him the GOAT with all the other stuff that he's done in his career? Or no, Brian, it just keeps him the same. It doesn't do anything. It just says that he's been able to play a long time and be productive for a long time. So I'm sure people want to jump in. 877-99 on Fox.
By the way, Rob, if you think about it from this standpoint too, where would you put that accomplishment among his other accomplishments, right? Whether it's individual, whether it's team-wise, coming back from a 3-1 deficit, being the top scorer in the game. Like, where would you put 40,000 among anything else that he's accomplished?
It's probably top 3. All-time leading scorer, though, to me is enough. You know what I mean? I don't need a number on it. All-time leading scorer in NBA history. Is that not good enough?
I know, right? Like, we're just kind of adding something to that.
Right. That's really what it is, right? You're already the top dog.
Right. Yeah, it'd be like if it's quarterback passing yards. Once you're the top guy, does it matter that you've gotten to 85,000 or 90,000? I don't know. As long as you're number one, I think that's what matters most, right?
I agree. I think that's all. We could stop there.
Oh, Mr. Parker, Mr. Noe, how y'all doing on this Friday night?
Doing great. What's up, bud?
Not much. Chilling, bro. Chilling. Hey, I think whether you're a LeBron mean or a Jordan Knight, this 40,000 doesn't make a difference to where you put them at. Me personally, I think it's impressive because longevity does mean something to play this long and this well. It's just like you look at somebody like yourself, Rob. How many of your peers that you started out with that fell by the wayside, but you still?
My goodness gracious, I get that, but here's the only thing I'll say to you, and just think about this, and Brian, you too. Say LeBron played his entire career, 40,000, right, the leading scorer in NBA history, and he didn't win.
Right.
It wouldn't register the same way.
No.
Am I right?
It'd work again.
It would work. The longevity wouldn't matter to anybody. That's how, like, when people say.
I don't know about that, Rock. We don't talk bad about Derek Jeter. He only won 5 championships in 20 years.
What do you mean 5 baseball championships? Are you kidding?
I'm saying 4 NBA championships in 20 years. It's more than just you, so we don't put all the blame on him. So why are we gonna do it on LeBron?
No. Baseball is way different because you could be a really good player and have no pitching. I don't equate it the same because if I look at baseball, let's say the Yankees won 3 out of 4, they were a dynasty, or like at the point when they were playing. I don't look at Derek Jeter's career and go, oh wow, they played 20 because they made the playoffs like 19 of the 20 years.
He made the finals 10 out of his 20 years.
Right, but he lost more finals than anybody.
But okay, that is true. But
do you see what I'm saying? Like this?
Yeah, I get that.
There's a difference. There's a difference because when you lose more than you win, it's like Jerry West. Like Jerry. Nobody talks about Jerry. He lost all those finals. He only won one. Nobody. He's not revered. Nobody says Jerry West went to 8 NBA finals. And Brian, he only won 1.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Listen, you got to close the deal, or you're going to be known for the guy who didn't.
Marv Levy. Nobody says Marv Levy's the greatest coach in NFL. He went to 4 straight Super Bowls, and that's my point.
Right.
Is that he doesn't get the credit he deserves for being a great coach because he never won the big game. Right. It matters.
That was the deal with Andy Reid.
Yes,
before he started winning these
winning
rings with the Chiefs.
Thank you.
Yeah.
He got fired in Philadelphia. Hello. He went to 4 NFC championship games.
And won Super Bowl. And didn't win any rings.
Right. And then he got a guy named Patrick Mahomes, and things changed.
Yeah.
877-99 on Fox.
How about this, Rob? This goes right into the conversation. MJ, I don't know if it's the Michael Jordan in New Orleans. We'll find out here. MJ's on The Odd Couple. What's going on, MJ?
What's going on, man? How y'all doing? What's up, Professor Rob?
What's happening? How are you?
Hey, man, I'm blessed, man. Tuned into you guys as much, man. Hey, man. It seems like I'm on the show more than Chris nowadays, man.
Oh, yeah. There you go. You said it. You said it. I know.
Hey, I'm less impressed because Michael Jeffrey Jordan did more in less amount of time. LeBron is the stat king, though, and I got to agree with Chris. 1 championship every 5 years. Also, you got to add some context to the scoring record. Okay, LeBron James, 2,237 3-pointers. The captain, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, 1 2-pointers. LeBron, 11,816. Kareem, 15,836. Like I said, it's Matt Stafford-ish. It's kind of raw numbers. If you kind of look at it, it's a lot of time, a lot of minutes played, a lot of games. Even Skip would say LeBron James was in games in the fourth quarter while they were being blown out. He's a pass-first guy who crept up and got the all-time scoring record Am I the only guy that looks at that kind of weird? Really? It's longevity, but it's healthy longevity. It's just I'm not tooting my horn with it. Thank you, guys. Have a great show.
All right.
You
Appreciate
it. Thanks. Have a good night. Yeah. It just seems like, I don't know, Rob, 40,000 seems more like it's cool.
No,
right?
when he passed Kareem was bigger than me. Right?
Absolutely.
Right.
That was the biggest moment. Put it this way. I remember when he hit the shot to pass Kareem, and Kareem was there, and they had their history, right, Rob? And he gave him the basketball, and it was this whole thing. It's not going to be the same thing when he gets to 40,000. Right. And that's not taking any credit away. It's just to say passing Kareem was the bigger moment.
100%. I don't doubt it at all. I thought that was, Kareem there. You passed the all-time. Well, we always thought of Kareem, and no one really thought about somebody passing him. And now people can look at it and say, well, nobody will pass LeBron. I doubt it. I mean, the way that they're scoring now and the way you can't play defense, somebody might get LeBron. Could happen.
Yeah, certainly coming to the league early. You know what I mean? It's not going to be spending 3 or 4 years in college. You're starting right away.
That's right.